What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. And that guy right there, that's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What up, y'all?
Tonight's brew is from Biscayne Bay. And it's the, what is this?
Regatta.
And Obi's going to have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? All right. We got the return of our favorite bit. It is time for Trailer Trash.
Trailer Trash.
Featuring, you had to know we were going to talk about it, the Grand Theft Auto trailer, the Fallout TV show trailer, Godzilla Kong trailer. All right?
Yep.
What else?
Well, I happen to have a birthday recently, if you didn't know. Pause for happy birthday.
Oh.
Thank you. And for my birthday, my sweet parents went out and got me the latest Call of Duty. If you don't know, not the best reviewed game of the year, but I have some thoughts on it, and I'd like to share after completing the campaign and playing, I'd say, about 5 hours online so far. Get a little taste.
Little taste?
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we're going to talk a little bit about Uncle Dave Filoni and his thoughts on, I guess I should say, his ever-evolving ideas and theories.
Head canon that becomes true canon.
Right.
Yeah.
About Jedis and Star Wars and all this stuff. Because
The Falls.
the thing is, you know, we've got the TV shows and we've got the movies still coming out. And it feels like even though it's been decades upon decades of what should be established lore,
Sure.
it isn't.
Yeah.
It just isn't.
There's more Star Wars than ever. So
So we're gonna do all that, and that's probably about it if we're being completely honest. So let's get into it. This is episode 409 of the One Beer In podcast. There you go.
oh, thank you. Crack on. 3, 2, 1.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to
All right, this is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew, and we see where that one brew takes us. Episode 409.
Yes.
Obi, you want to tell us a little bit more about what we're drinking tonight?
I would love to. Let's clink it up first. I need a little sippy sip. Jesus Christ. You all right? You all right there?
As soon as I did it, like we clinked, and then I took it into my throat.
Oh, what a start, folks.
I'm leaving it.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, I got it.
Whoa.
I'm gonna pull that back up in slow mo.
Please.
Oh, fuck, got it everywhere.
It's all right.
All right.
Only up from here.
Yeah, tell the people what we're drinking tonight.
If you'd let me.
Now I got the hiccups.
Oh, God damn it. Well, folks, this is the Biscayne Bay Brewing Regatta Double IPA. And there is no cold read on the can, unfortunately, other than it saying it's from downtown Miami. And on the can it says racing slowly. But I did find a cold read at biscaynebrewing.com. And it goes as follows. ABV is 8.5%. IBU is 99. Regatta Double IPA is a Southeast American double IPA that exhibits a great malt character and sweetness while having an exciting amount of bitterness from Chinook hops and a gourmet aroma of a blended dry hop of Simcoe and Centennial hops.
That's it?
That's it.
All right, cool.
Yep.
All right.
They're actually they have the official lager of the Miami Marlins.
Oh.
So
Racing slowly. I kind of like that. Little boat, little speedboat.
little boat guy, little boat.
little yachty.
Oh, it's a little yachty. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of your birthday, this finally came in the mail,
Oh.
and I wanted to wait because I don't even know what this is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want you to open it up,
A little scared.
and we'll do a live reaction,
A live unveiling.
live unveiling.
Okay. All right.
Because we were so delayed. Again, sorry, folks, about the last couple of weeks. Life got in the way, but we're back at it.
Yeah.
And you should be seeing the podcast coming out regularly
On a
scheduled
regular
programming. So that's why the timing, now we're in like December.
Sure.
So wasn't timed perfectly around your birthday. And also it didn't come in until after your birthday, so.
My birthday's at the end of November anyway. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it one thing or
It's
is it
three things.
Three things. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna try to do one by one then. Oh, nice.
That's
Beautiful.
dope.
Yeah.
Damn, that's sick.
Astro Boy. Retro Astro Boy. Love it.
So I'll tell you why you're unveiling. There's this company called Parallel Vintage.
Oh.
And they do, you can buy each shirt individually or you can do a mystery pack. So it was like one anime shirt, one music related shirt, and then I can't remember the other one. So I guess we'll find out in 2 seconds.
Okay. Next up. We've got.
Oh, I can already see what that is.
I can't see from the back.
Doom.
Nice. MF Doom. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. And finally,
And finally.
I guess I should probably look at it first. Oh, nice. Another Doom.
Oh, wait, why is it 2 Dooms?
We got 2 Dooms.
All right, well, there you go.
I'll take 2 Dooms. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You know, like that Astro Boy couldn't have been better. Like it could have been any Japanese property, and
Astro Boy's perfect.
yeah, it being
Yeah.
Astro Boy is pretty fucking sick. So that was like kind of meant to be, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
So that was really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, my friend.
All right.
Okay. Now, just wait for Christmas because I got you something. Too.
Oh no.
Oh, my hat fell off. I knocked my hat off.
That president knocked his hat off.
Yeah. I love giving presents. It's my favorite.
No, I know you do. Fuck, I got beer all over me.
It's all right. It's all right. We have 4 more. It's okay.
Yeah. No, I mean I didn't lose a lot of it. It was just enough to.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start this baby off with a classic. It's time for trailer trash.
Trailer trash. It's a good one.
Thank you. We're going to start it off with probably the biggest trailer, the most anticipated trailer, something that people have been waiting actual years for.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, of course, the GTA 6 game trailer. And it's really just a teaser. You don't get any like real gameplay footage. Sure. You don't even get really much plot.
Yeah.
You can make inferences from what you get in the trailer, but for the most part, it's just like it's coming.
Sure. And there were some hints before the trailer dropped about what the story's about. Because we found out before that. I don't know if it was a leak or if they like Rockstar officially said so, but it's apparently going to be like a Bonnie and Clyde type story where you can switch between the male and the female counterpart.
Yeah.
In this like crime couple.
Yeah.
So, and that came to be apparently from the trailer.
I mean, it looks to be exactly what I don't remember if it was a leak or a rumor or if they actually confirmed that.
Yeah, and the rumors were true that it is set in Vice City. Mm-hmm. Not another trip to the 80s, but a modern Vice City, and apparently beyond. It seems like it's going to be like Vice City, stand-in for the Everglades, a stand-in for the Keys, and who knows?
I heard that there's also going to be a stand-in for parts of Orlando.
I wouldn't be surprised, like if there was like a theme park area that you
Yeah.
go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. So probably Central to South Florida is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be like apparently you can see their version of the Miami Heat stadium.
Yeah, you can. You
that's
can.
pretty sick.
There's lots of stand-ins for real life stuff.
Yeah.
So it's already cool to like kind of see the direct compare. And they did this on purpose, obviously, but there's a lot of in the trailer direct footage from that's completely taken from like actual news stories. And
right.
It's all online.
A lot of Florida guy stuff.
Yeah. Lots of Florida man.
Yeah.
Florida women.
Florida women.
Yeah.
I saw a shirt. Oh, man, I was gonna get it, and it was just like, it was just Florida man. Like it was a pocket tee, and it said Florida man, and then on the back it was the news. It was a clipping of a news article, and it was like Florida man is arrested for practicing his karate by kicking geese or kicking swans.
Yeah.
Just thought like
it's good.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
Our state is never-ending pinnacle of entertainment for the rest of the country.
Well, it makes sense, especially now. I mean, they've been working on the game for years.
Oh, yeah.
But these last couple of years, probably like the perfect spot to do.
Oh yeah, think about all the parodies they can do about everything that's going on in Florida.
Yeah.
Currently.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, the only thing that I am a little like a hair concerned about, and it's been assuaged a little bit. Yeah, it's been by the reaction to the trailer, which we'll get into, but it's mostly been received well by, I'd say, the vast majority of people.
Yeah.
On all sides of politics. I only say that because inevitably the discussion in video games turns into turn woke, or this is tone deaf, you know, like
right.
So my only concern is that any criticism for DeSantis or don't say gay or things like that, it's going to be like, they went woke, we told you.
Yeah.
And it's just going to immediately be shut down.
Yeah.
By like half of the gamers out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, we're at a place now politically and in society where like that, it just is what it is. Like I mean, we've seen it with movies coming out. Like we've seen people change their reactions on the fly to it's unsuccessful because it's woke. Then when the movie is successful, all of a sudden it's like it's successful because they didn't go woke. And it's like, well, wait, you
woke.
you just said it was, and it was like, no. Now that I've seen it, it's just I saw a woman and I thought I felt like a real Ronnie Dangerfield. I saw a woman and I thought, it's gotta be a woke. And so we're just gonna have to combat that.
Regardless of the content of the game, that's gonna be the conversation that comes out of it.
And that just really sucks, man.
Yeah.
I will say that I was pleasantly surprised that I didn't see a lot. I really thought that people were going to freak out about a female protagonist.
Well, and you know why they didn't? Because she's hot.
Yeah.
And they show her in a bikini. So they're like, hey, yeah, we can see boobs.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, it's a good time.
Boobs.
Yeah, they didn't go woke.
You could see boobs.
She doesn't have a shaved head. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
she had purple hair and if she was like a hipster or whatever.
The one side shaved, long hair on the other side.
Freak out.
Yeah.
But that she's a Latina.
Yeah.
I think, right? I think
she is. She is. Yeah.
A fiery Latina.
Yeah. Nondescript Latina.
A Latina. I really wish that the next game was going to be about a corrupt cop. I really wanted to do like corrupt cop stuff. I always had this theory that
I want to do corrupt cop stuff.
I always had this theory that GTA would work really well as a cop game, where you're a bad cop. And you do corrupt cop shit, but then you also like what Streets of LA became.
I was going to say that's kind of what that was in a way.
Yeah. Well, it was. Well,
you could decide on if you're going to be dirty or not. But
yeah, and I think that GTA would work really well as that kind of game.
Yeah.
You could still do all the wacky zany shit, but then at the same time, like you get bonus points in the game for actually stopping crime. Or you could participate in the crime,
Sure,
maybe there's different, it doesn't matter.
I think that would work really well as like a DLC, like side story, like they did with like Gay Tony and the Lost and the Damned.
Yeah.
Where it's like a hyper-focused story on a specific kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think as big as GTA usually is, the mainline game, I think that'd be a little too limiting for like what you could do and what you couldn't do.
I guess you're a cop, so you can't just go around murdering people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or could you?
I mean, I guess you could. I guess you could. Hey, Cap.
Who are you gonna call?
So
I am the law.
as far as the game, as far as what was presented to us, we waited. Shit, I wouldn't say 10 years because that's like the entire life cycle of GTA 5, but I would say the last like 5 years. I think a game being out 5 years and not having an inkling of the next game, even though we know another one is coming.
Yeah.
If if Rockstar had said, "Don't worry about another game. We have no plans for another game. We're focusing on GTA 5." Then I think people would be kind of like, all right, well, let's just focus on this. But 6 is coming. With the success of 5, you know that they're not going to stop with it.
Well, as soon as we realized that we weren't getting actual like story DLC like we did in the past for GTA 5,
Yeah.
I think that's when the clock started ticking for people who weren't into online. Because
Yeah, exactly.
Online,
Online
its own thing. It's a second life essentially now.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, God bless them. That's why they haven't made GTA 6 yet. It's because they've just been kind of filling in content for online and getting tons of money out of it.
I really hope, because people are saying, like, there's rumors that they're going to basically hit the reset button on all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I really hope they do. Because I want to get back into the game. I want to play the game fresh. I do not... The last thing I want is to jump onto GTA Online and be behind the 8 ball with thousands of people who have like mansions and high rises and all the guns already and billions of dollars that they've farmed for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's the point of even playing online?
Sure.
Or at least the new people who are jumping back into the game. We get our own like server. We get
a
our
kiddie
own
pool
money.
and-
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't want to deal with I love GTA Online.
Yeah.
But I can't play it anymore because I took a break from it, and then you come back, and you just get mollywopped every time.
You get a billion phone calls and texts, first of all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
That's annoying as fuck.
Yeah, and then you're instantly murdered as soon as you walk out of your apartment.
Yeah. And it's just like, what's the fucking point? I would at least like to. I don't like. It ruins the experience, man. And I don't want to go. People are like, oh, people tell me like just go invisible or go like, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just want to be able to play the game. Like if something happens and then I start beefing with somebody, excuse me, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But to immediately just catch a rocket in the face as soon as I leave my apartment, just because some guy's like flying around killing people, like
trolling.
That's too much.
Yeah.
That's too much.
What I kind of hope they do is they do reset the deck with GTA 6 online, but GTA 5 continues to exist as its own thing so that the people who spent so much money and time in it can continue to enjoy it, because I think it'll continue to make a ton of money even in 2025 when this game's supposed to come out.
Yeah.
There's enough people on last gen or who won't buy it immediately that I think they can continue that service for another, who knows, 10 years.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to.
Yeah.
And then have like maybe an adoption process that, if you have so many, what are they called? Shark cards?
Shark cards, yeah.
If you have so much money on GTA 5 online, it transfers over so much to GTA 6 and, something that makes it worth people's while. Because I know it's its own game at this point. People have spent thousands of dollars on that game.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want people to just outright lose everything. You're right, because if I spent 10 years playing that game on and off and had millions and millions of dollars and
you have your favorite car in there,
right? I could see like, that would suck losing all that shit. At the same time, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to introduce a new game and then let people just so there has to be some kind of like, how do we carry this over without making people who just are getting into the game, because there's a lot of people that just bought a PlayStation 5 and didn't have the PlayStation 4, so maybe they got the PS5 and they're getting GTA now. They're waiting for GTA to come out, and it's like,
or buying it because GTA the new trailer just came out.
Right.
They're like, oh, I got to upgrade now.
Right. It's like, you can't just fuck those people. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm sure that they've thought about
They
this.
have
I'm
to.
sure
Yeah.
they're not asking
They're
any
smart.
questions
They're
they
smart
haven't
people
asked
over there.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They know what they're doing.
But you did mention when the game is coming out, and that has, first of all, okay, let's get into like the reactions of the game, because there's not much as far as like, Jesus Christ. We'll just let this happen.
What's up?
What up? What it do?
What up?
Why is she always crying?
I don't know. It's even worse for me. I don't know why. Like, she's not doing what she usually does for me, which is and then she pees on the floor.
Oh no.
Guess I'm just lucky.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, take her with you.
Frankie. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh. Pitiful. You're
Pathetic.
pitiful.
Pathetic. Okay. So yeah, you hit on the first big thing, which is the release date,
Sure.
2025.
Yeah.
So we've been waiting 10 years, some odd,
Yeah.
for this game to come out. And we're
GTA 5 originally came out in 2013.
So we're gonna wait another year before the game actually comes out, and there's no telling what's gonna happen between now and then.
Yeah.
Who knows if there's gonna be a delay, maybe a push back or a push forward.
Sure.
In a perfect world, but as it stands, 2025. So that's the first thing that a lot of people took issue with was like, oh. And I saw a lot of people posting the Kevin Garnett clip from Uncut Gems. Just
Uncut Gems.
Why would you Uncut Gems? Why would you show me something if I couldn't have it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel that way too. I feel like we are past the point of get ready,
Yeah.
because in 6 months to a year, this thing is coming.
Sure.
I think, unfortunately, we are at a place in entertainment where that model is dead.
Yeah.
So I've seen like artists do that still, and movie studios is a little different because like you can announce a movie and then people are like, well, it's coming out in 2025. And it's like, what are you going to do? It's coming out in 2025, whatever. It's
Sure.
like, I think movie studios are the only ones who can still get away with this. But like if you announce an album, I've seen artists do this. Like they announce an album and they're like, all right, it's coming out in like March. I'm like, why would you
Yeah.
release this? Ty Segall just did this. Why would you release a single and the album's not coming out until next year? I'm not. What do you think I'm gonna do? You think I'm gonna listen to that one song
For
months?
Yeah.
No, dude.
I
I'm gonna
do-
forget that the album is coming out until.
And then you go, oh wow, this album's out. That's
there you
cool.
go. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't do this. Now, if you announce it, if you don't have to do the sneaky surprise release of like, album's coming out tomorrow. You don't have to do that.
Sure.
A couple of weeks, maybe even like a month buffer. If you're like, hey, it's March 1st, and then you're like, it's coming out in April.
Yeah.
Okay, I can deal with that.
Sure.
Don't announce an album 6 months ahead. That's crazy.
I gotta say that's been something that's happened with me recently with the new Idols album. It's like
Yes,
it's coming out in
Idols
February.
is another one. Idols is another one.
It's coming out in February. We've had this single for the past like 2 months.
And I like the song. I've
It's
listened
good.
to it a
It's
lot.
good. Yeah, it's a great song. It has me excited to hear more. But before I even knew when it was coming out, I like that Friday I was like, okay, the album's coming out, right?
Yeah,
Or,
exactly.
like the next Friday I'm like, okay, it's coming out now, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, let me look this up real quick.
Yeah.
And I went, what?
February.
Next year?
February.
Yeah.
We're in November. They released that single, what, a month ago?
Something like that.
Maybe 2 months ago?
Yeah, I think it was about a month ago.
Excuse me. February. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Too much.
And the same
too
thing.
much.
Same thing. I feel like with video games is like, it's one thing to be like keeping your audience updated on shit like this. Now, obviously, I don't feel like you have to give people like a step by step or a month by month. Like, here's what we're doing now. Yeah. But most game studios are like, game's coming out, boom. Now here's some gameplay Well, here's the teaser.
Yeah.
Then a couple months go by. Here's the gameplay trailer. Mm-hmm. Then maybe like they introduce some cool shit at like one of the nerd fests.
Yeah.
And then the game comes out.
Sure. Remember when we had to wait for magazines and just screen caps?
Oh man. Oh man. Reading fucking Game Informer.
Yeah, you get
to
that.
find out.
I still have the Vice City cover of like I think it was like PlayStation Magazine or something like that.
Yeah. Oh man. I had a subscription to Game Informer, and every month. That's
That's how you knew.
People would be like, "How do you know this game's coming out?" I was like, "Bro, I
read about it.
I'm in there, dog. I'm in there. Like, there was no Reddit.
No.
There was no like mass exchange of information.
Sure. You could get on IGN eventually.
Yeah. But you had to have like PlayStation Magazine or Game Informer or Wizard.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
If you didn't have that shit, you didn't.
Game Pro.
You wasn't in the nerd. See, this is old school nerd shit.
Foundational.
You think you new nerds don't know shit about this. Sitting down and reading a magazine, reading actual reviews, not like some fucking guy on Twitter telling you like this game sucks or whatever, but like reading established reviews of these games and going like that at the time was biblical. Yeah. It was like, oh, that game fucking sucks because Game Informer said it sucks. Yeah. Or PlayStation Magazine said it sucks. I'm not playing the game.
Or you get like a full editorial preview of it.
Yeah.
Like a couple months in advance. And
Dude,
it's like
and it's like it's a spread.
Yeah, it's
detailed. And you're talking to like the game developers, some of the voice actors sometimes.
So what we're trying to do with this one is
and you get like little clips, little screen caps, like you said, and you're like, oh, that looks crazy. Looks like it's gonna be so. And then like character bios, and you're like, this guy looks like he's gonna fucking be awesome to play as. Yeah. Yep. And you just don't get shit like that anymore, man. You just don't get shit like that anymore. Does Game Informer even exist still? I mean, it has to in some way.
I don't know if they do.
It has to be like a website now.
Let's look.
Game Informer.
It's still a website.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a new review of the Avatar game that just came out.
There you go.
Yeah, they're still around. They're still kicking.
Are they on the cutting edge? I don't know. I don't see anybody talking about Game Informer anymore.
No, I mean they're an established name though. You know, they're a respected name. From what I remember.
I think though that IGN has kind of taken over as like
IGN is like the evil empire of game reviews. Yeah. Like they have been for the past 20 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So
and no matter what, you can say what you want, but people still, and it's kind of like Pitchfork. Like people talk so much shit about Pitchfork, and still their reviews matter.
Yeah.
Even you see people go, Pitchfork sucks. It doesn't matter. Don't listen to Pitchfork. And then when they get a good review, they're like, I got a fucking 9.5 from Pitchfork. And then when they get a bad review, they're like, Pitchfork sucks.
What do they know?
They don't matter. Yeah. Don't listen to them.
Which is exactly what happens to IGN.
Yeah. You get a 10 out of 10 on IGN, and you're like...
Except that happens with the fans, not the artists.
Yeah.
The fans that are like, they predetermine their interest in a game are like, yeah, see? It's a 10 out of 10.
Told you.
Yeah, and then if it's
a game that 5 out of 10, they're like, they don't fucking know shit.
Well, here's the funny thing too. Now, I know this is a topic that we're going to move to, but for the latest Call of Duty, IGN gave it lower scores than they usually do.
They usually rate Call of Duty
pretty
games
high, pretty high. Usually like a 9, 8.5 at lowest. I've seen, depending. But this time they actually reviewed it pretty low, both online and campaign. And the response, instead of people going,
is that yours?
Yes, this one's mine.
Oh, I didn't finish this one. Oops. Sorry.
But instead of people who are usually like, oh, they got paid off, that's why they got the high score. This time, instead of saying, oh yeah, IGN got it right finally, what'd they say? Oh, I guess they didn't get the money in the mail this time, huh?
That's so silly.
It's like, okay,
silly.
They can't win then, can they?
Right. if it's gonna be a conspiracy, no matter what happens,
no matter what, you are determined, my friend.
Yeah.
So okay, fine.
And that's how it's always with some people. That's how it's always gonna be, man. You you can't win. You can't win.
Yeah, no. Yet they remain the biggest name in video game,
and yet they remain
journalism.
Yeah. So okay, let's talk more about reactions.
Sure.
I think I was alluding to the fact that like I was very surprised that the nerds didn't go woman bad.
Yeah.
And like you said, it was because it might be because of the fact that like she's portrayed as being very hot.
Yeah.
And so that kind of curbs some of that. And also I think that it helps that like you can kind of tell that it's a Bonnie and Clyde situation where you can probably switch back and forth between the characters, and you probably only have to move the story along with like how you did, like, because I can tell you I played a lot with Michael, and a lot with not Trevor. I mean, I did play a lot of Trevor, but Michael and forgot his name. Help me, please.
Pulling him up. It's been a long time for me too.
I know.
Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How could I forget that?
Franklin Clinton.
Franklin Clinton. I played a lot of them because their stories were really like Trevor is the most entertaining.
Oh yeah,
But I think the most compelling stories are Michael and Franklin's stories.
yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, they're the straight men in the story.
yeah,
Trevor's the oddball.
yeah. So he does shit, and you're just like, this is awesome. But like Michael, his, I don't know. It's like a rereading of a Scorsese movie.
It's very Sopranos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is. It's very Sopranos. And then like him having to get back in the game is interesting. His is the most interesting story, I think.
Yeah.
The most interesting through line anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see like how they handle these two characters who were basically like, I don't know, the same story. I don't know. I shouldn't say that because we don't know fucking anything about the plot really.
Well, in the trailer we see that our female protagonist is in the pen.
Yeah.
She's in jail at some point. So
I gotta pee.
okay.
You keep talking about that.
We know that she has some kind of criminal past and run-ins with the law. And even in I think the art, like the title art for the game itself, or one of them, they show her with like an ankle bracelet, which is interesting. So it's like, I don't know how they're gonna play out with that, as far as how much you can get done with her as a criminal, because seems to be under the scrutiny of the law already. But then again, it's like, I was a little concerned at first because they're both probably around the same age. I just think what they're going to do for differences in their storylines is make their backgrounds very different, but they have to be criminals of some kind to make it a GTA game. They both have to be criminals of some kind. So I'm not sure how different they can really make them, which I think may make GTA 5's characters a little more interesting on face value. I have, full faith in Rockstar to make this work, but I am a little, at least a tinge concerned that there's not going to be as big of a difference between the two characters as we've seen in past games. So, I mean, I'm curious if there's going to be a difference in like mechanics with what you can do with one character versus the other. Because that would be interesting if the dude is like a expert marksman because he was like, I don't know, ex-military or something, right?
Yeah, and
And she's like really good at stealth.
in GTA 5, even though they had stats, they didn't really translate.
No,
So it was like, oh yeah, Franklin can drive better than the rest of them. It's like, yeah, but
kinda.
if you spend a lot of time driving with the other characters, you can boost those stats
It
anyway.
builds
so
it up, yeah.
it doesn't really.
By the end
doesn't
of the
really
game,
matter.
everyone's pretty much equal.
Yeah. I mean, even towards the beginning of the game, it's like the differences between the characters are pretty negligible. So it's like it doesn't really matter all that much.
Sure.
It's an interesting idea, and what you're saying, I think what you were saying is being able to the two of them have like real statistical differences between them.
Yeah, like unchangeable differences.
Yeah, where like one's stronger, one's a marksman, one's better at stealth, like you were saying. Differences that are utilized story-wise better.
Right.
Like it would be smarter. Like if you can use either one of the characters to do a mission, for instance, and it's like, well, this is a sneaking mission. Do you want to go in guns a-blazing, or do you want to sneak better?
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you get for using each character? Like there should be pros and cons to using each one of them for each mission.
Yeah.
It's like if you go guns a-blazing, you won't sneak around, and maybe you won't get rewarded for sneaking around, but maybe you'll get, I don't know, more loot or whatever because you just went in aggressively and took.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you get more valuable loot if you're sneaking around and you can grab stuff without anybody noticing.
You can get more if you're stealthy.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it's easier if you're loud.
Right. You just go through and murder everybody.
Yeah.
But then maybe you have to deal with the consequences of kicking a door in and killing everybody.
Yeah.
That's the other thing about like GTA. Although, excuse me, it would make the life of the game difficult. You don't really have to deal with the consequences of your actions.
No.
You can just kind of go through, do whatever you want, hide, and then it's over with.
Well, and that's kind of what I hope to see brought into this game a little bit, is what they did with Red Dead 2.
Right.
Where it's like, I mean, I hope it's even more in depth than what they did with Red Dead 2 because Red Dead 2 is in a long tradition of games that have one of two paths you can go down, light or dark.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'd like to see there be like, you know, a storyline in which you guys are criminals that are trying to clean up by the end. A middle line where it's like, you know, we do good, we do bad, but we're kind of somewhere in between the two at least. And then another side where it's like, we're hardened criminals, we're unrepentant about what we're doing, and we're out to get what we want.
Yeah.
And it not necessarily bat your hand for doing that.
Yeah.
Because obviously in Red Dead 2, choosing the dark side essentially is like it leads to a what I'd say is a bad story by the end of it.
Yeah. Not bad quality, but like you're the bad. It's bad.
Right, but I mean, even with that, it's like unsatisfying.
Yeah,
in my eyes, you know?
yeah. I see what you're saying.
Because
yeah.
I'm not going to get into spoilers with it as much as possible with Red Dead 2, but Red Dead 2, I feel like pretty obviously is a story of a man that is trying to do better.
Yeah.
You can choose to not do better, but it's always fighting you against that, you know?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
They're pushing you to the light.
Yeah. The more compelling and more interesting ending is very clearly if you played the game with good honor.
Sure. So I would like for them to play with that a little more and not give you necessarily like just a cheap out bad ending where it's like you should have done good.
Yeah.
You know? Like make them hardened criminals that don't really care, but it's like they're out to do what they want to do and they have their reasons and they're not repentant about it at all. Like it's just their life and that's what they do.
And I think that you could play with I forgot what this concept is called. There's a word for it, but where the game is telling you that there's consequences, but then it's a video game, so you can go and kill people anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
It's been this idea that's been explored in like video game literature, especially with like Last of Us, where it's this very, very deep and very interesting paradox of like what is happening to the characters story-wise versus what you're actually doing in the game.
There's a gap between gameplay and the story they're telling. Because Last of Us 2 especially is a story all about being anti-vengeance, anti-violence at the end of the day. But the gameplay itself, and you know, no fault to the game itself, it's so fun and it's so interesting and visceral to play that you can't help. It's like what they say about anti-war movies, that there can't be an anti-war movie,
right? Because
the point of a movie is to entertain,
right?
In one way or another, whether it gets you excited because you're seeing blood and guts in action, or like you can put yourself there and it's exciting in some way, you know, like even if the end story is like war's bad. The experience.
We just watched 2.5 hours of war being pretty fucking entertaining.
The experience of it, even if it's one that's grueling and terrible, is still entertaining, or at least it's trying to be.
Yeah.
So the same thing with video games. So, you know, if we're telling a story that is anti-violence, it's hard to make the gameplay anti-violent when it's so fun to be violent,
right?
Especially in a GTA game.
Yeah, and you have to be able to make the game compelling enough outside of that, or at least make the choices meaningful enough that all of that stuff matters.
Right.
You go throughout if you play 80 hours of this game and then at the end nothing really matters, like you could have done it anyway. You could have murdered a bunch of people or not, and you still get to the same result. I mean, all you really need is like I've seen this cited before. Nakey Jakey cited this in his video about this entire concept, which is like there's in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater that part in the game where you're walking through, it's like a nightmare.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
you're walking
about.
down the river and you see the ghosts of everyone you've killed,
and those are the characters you actually killed in the game. So like if you didn't do that, you'd probably have a pretty nice trip through this through this nightmare or whatever.
Even the animal ghosts are there.
Yeah. And so that is just like a little piece of a video game being smart enough to say, like, you chose to do this. Now you have to live with those actions.
Speaking of Kojima real quick, that's the same idea for Death Stranding. Is you are actively asked to not murder people.
Yeah.
There are people out there trying to kill you or at least incapacitate you. And you can get a gun and shoot them if you want to.
Yeah.
But there are dire consequences if you do.
Right.
So, like, it's such an interesting thing that is possible in games.
Yeah.
Kojima has shown that it is possible.
Yes. It is. It's very possible. And that's the part that's kind of disappointing, that we're still making games where, like, you don't explore more the consequences of your actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hope that in GTA, I hope that they learned lessons from Red Dead.
Yeah.
And say, like, all right, we kind of touched on what this could be, and now we're gonna go full on of kind of exploring that notion.
Yeah.
And hopefully you don't have to kill any cops, or else Elon won't play the game.
Oh, heaven forbid. If Elon doesn't play it,
Then
how
what are we
can
gonna-
I play
yeah,
it?
I know. I mean, if you're Ian Miles Chong,
God.
you wouldn't do anything that Papa Musk wouldn't
Papa
do.
Musk.
Papa Musk, please. Thank you for telling me what I should and shouldn't do.
Give me a like, please.
Thank you, Papa. Retweet me, Papa. Repost me, Papa.
Repost me, Papa.
It's X. Whatever you say it is, Papa. Thank you.
Such a fucking nerd. I'm getting so fucking.
Can I give the direct quote from Elon?
Please give the direct quote.
Elon said in response to being asked about him playing GTA, he said, tried but didn't like doing crime.
Didn't like doing crime.
GTA 5 required shooting police officers in the opening scene. Just couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
And then
Back the blue.
Ian Miles Chong came in afterwards and said, I'm glad shooting cops in Cyberpunk 2077 is completely optional.
Is completely optional.
Never finished GTA 5
Never
either.
finished GTA 5 either, Papa.
And then Elon's own community notes came in and said, Ian Miles Chong has written up to... he's not. It's not him.
Oh, sorry. It's the community notes.
It's the community notes.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Ian Miles, unless he wrote it himself. What a twist.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Miles Chong has written up to 255 Gameranks articles covering GTA 5, including descriptions of personally killing or evading virtual police.
No way.
in
I
game
did not see
single-player
this.
mode. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, my God.
And
that's
then-
great.
And then they provided links.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So...
The grift doesn't matter, dog. It just doesn't. You can say and do whatever you want. The only thing that matters is if people believe it in the moment.
Sure.
Evidence doesn't matter. Real news, it doesn't matter. As long as you can get people to believe that shit in the moment.
It's funny that you said that because actually right before I came over, I was pooping.
Yeah.
And I was on X.
Hell yeah, brother.
Twitter.
You're on. Okay.
That's why I'm so sweaty right now. No, I was on Twitter. And I saw a post about the trailer itself. And I was trying to do a little bit of research before because that's what we do here. We're committed to
we
research.
do research.
And
on the shitter.
Even while pooping, yeah. And so, normal receptions that you see, people excited about it, people upset that it's coming out 2025. Yeah. Then I saw someone post something to the effect of... people hate this game already, and that's what happens when you don't have any representation of LGBTQ people.
What?
And I went, that's bait, because the screen name was something like Gamer X or something. I'm like,
Was it? But it was GAYMER.
no. It was like a regular ass like 420 Blaze It Gamer thing, and I'm like.
No.
And I clicked in, and lo and behold, they're just like, spam farmer essentially.
Yeah.
And I look at the replies, and nobody else caught on.
Yeah.
It was all people like fuming, like, "Shut up! Oh yeah, because it's not gay, it's not woke."
Yeah.
And I'm like, This is the problem with the internet, and we should destroy it.
Well, it is the problem with the internet, but it's a problem with Twitter mostly.
Yeah.
And it's a problem because Elon created this problem.
Sure.
I'm sorry, but this is a direct result of Elon Musk's decision making and policies that he's enacted at Twitter.
Yeah.
People doing shit like that, people creating an account and saying inflammatory shit. That's not even really inflammatory. It's just like, that people are going to be like, fuck you, fuck off. And then you get a bunch of comments and you can farm that shit.
Insincere, and it also acts as a scapegoat for people who are prejudiced against LGBTQ people.
Right.
To point at and go, look, they're all whiners.
Right.
Look at that. When it's a person who's not even trying to hide their identity, mind you. It's someone who's just posting like gamer clips that jumps into a conversation without context and acts as if they're some protester.
Yeah.
So that people can point to and go, look at how loud they're being about this.
Right.
Look, they're taking it all. They want everything to be gay. And I guarantee someone's going to use that in an example at a dinner table and be like, this is what the gays want.
Yeah. I saw it on Twitter.
They want
this is how they talk. This is what they do.
It's real. They posted it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Had a bunch of likes.
Yeah.
Like it's just so infuriating because you can't fight against that. It's like they know what they're doing. If I were to jump in and reply, it'd be like the 255th post underneath his.
Right.
And it
Unless
would
you pay for it.
Unless I pay for it. Right.
And that's the other thing. If you want to be a part of any of these conversations, you have to pay for it.
Right. And usually the worst actors are the ones who are paying for it.
Yeah.
So
because they're getting paid to do it.
Sure. To be the worst people on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I know. Like either Elon has to be the dumbest smart guy of all time, which at this point in 2023, I truly believe he is,
or a really smart dumb guy,
or a really smart dumb guy, or he just really doesn't see what's happening with like the consequences of what he's doing, the policies that he's enacting,
or he doesn't care,
or he just doesn't care. Yeah. Or apathy could be the.
I tend to think he doesn't care.
However, I'm not gonna let this go. We're gonna. I'm not gonna let him off that easily.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a fucking nerd.
Okay. Yeah.
The
idea.
Forget everything else. Okay. Forget the politics. Forget Twitter for a second. Forget everything. The idea of being like, I couldn't play GTA 5.
Speaking of virtue signaling,
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
You fucking dork.
You're a grown-up.
You're a grown-up.
You're a grown-up.
And also a liar, because people posted tweets from when he was playing Saints Row 4.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, what are you talking about? He's played a bunch of games that put you in the same situation that GTA 5 put you in.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's full of shit. And it's like, if he had posted that tweet 5 years ago, he wouldn't have said that 5 years ago, because 5 years ago it would have been cool to have played the game and to have done the things that you do in the game. Sure. Right now, he can virtue signal to the right and these insane, far right people, and he'll make money, he'll get engagement, he'll get all this support.
Yep.
It's one of the things that they're like, Elon Musk. People talk about like an echo chamber or a bubble that people live in, but he himself is one of the. He's like this guy sitting on the top of the mountain, and all he has is people like Ian Miles Chong just
Gulp.
And that's what he surrounds himself with. And any kind of criticism is met with, you could be banned, or you get thousands of people who are on his dick.
Yeah.
Not even engaging in the actual argument that you're presenting. It's just, I don't want to go in that direction.
Yeah.
I want to keep it light and keep it fun.
Okay.
Fuck you, Elon Musk. Keeping it light and keeping it light and keeping it fun. Elon Musk, what a nerd. Didn't even play GTA. I played the whole game. I played all 3 characters. I beat it, and I beat it quick. I beat it faster than most people beat it. They'll tell you that. If you look at the stats, they'll show you I beat it faster than most. That's what I want.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
It's getting better, right?
I think you are in line for the presidential debate, for this to be like the character for the episode when the debate happens.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Cool,
full
cool,
episode.
cool. Yeah. We
Yeah.
do the
It's like
whole
it's
thing.
like training for a marathon.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been working on it.
You'll be there in 2024.
2024, it's gonna
Yeah.
be right there. I
Yeah.
have the gravel down.
It's getting more gravelly. I don't know if you've noticed.
I've been trying.
Yeah.
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 I've really been like lowering the register to
You
try
have
to get there.
because you don't realize, but in real time, he's getting older.
Yeah.
And it's going deeper.
Yeah.
It's getting a little deeper.
Yeah.
It's getting a little deeper.
Yeah.
It's a little less up here. It's
Yeah.
a little more down here.
It's down here. It's a
little
little
down
down
here.
here. It's down here.
a little slower.
I think I have down packed a comical impression.
Yeah.
And I would like to get to one where that it's like actually good.
Yeah.
You know? I have one that you can do at the bar and people are like, that's pretty funny.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
But I want one where they're like,
Damn.
nice. So GTA 6 coming 2025. I mean, we spent an hour on
Hey, it's a big story.
a
big story.
Yeah. So let's kind of fly through the other trailers so we can get to
Well, what do we think of the trailer?
Oh, not trash.
Yeah,
not
not-
trash.
I-
At the
I-
end of the day, it's
Yeah, I say not trash at all. I think
Yeah.
it has made me even more excited than I was
for
before.
sure. Oh
so.
yeah. Now that I know that they're doing the stuff that they're doing, like with
Yeah.
with like modern day Miami and modern day Florida and all that
Yeah.
stuff, I'm very excited to see what they come up with.
Agreed.
All right.
Agreed.
Fallout TV show.
Yes, on Amazon.
Amazon.
Speaking of megalomaniacs.
Right, the people that brought you 2-day free shipping,
Yes.
which I thought was really funny in the
It's
trailer.
funny. It's funny. It's a good line.
My first thought, knowing that it's produced by Amazon, is
Yeah.
like, didn't they produce the Halo show, or was that
No,
that was
Paramount.
Okay,
Paramount.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. So then forget that thought
yeah.
because it doesn't
Stand down.
matter here.
Stand down and stand back.
I will say Amazon does stuff. They do cool shit that
Yeah.
doesn't get noticed that often because like it's Amazon. For some reason, people are like, I'm not watching an Amazon.
Well, because it
produced show.
comes with your Amazon Prime,
Yeah, and I guess
membership.
it seems kind of cheap.
It does. It feels cheap.
Yeah.
But it's not. Like, it's actually really good.
Yeah.
I'll say, like, Prime Video, pretty good.
Yo, Prime Video, not for nothing. Not only do they have all their stuff, which is really like a pretty vast
The Boys is
library.
fantastic.
But then when
Invincible.
you look at the stuff that they just paid for,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
And then they provide you links to getting the other shit that they don't have.
Sure,
So
yeah.
then they're like, "Hey, sorry, it's not available. If you could rent it
You wanna
here,
rent it? Yeah.
or you can pay for a subscription to this thing."
I will
And
say it's like the best one stop
yeah.
that you can go to
You
for
can't
streaming.
you can't go on Netflix and then Netflix tell you like, sorry, it's not on Netflix, but HBO
rent
has
it.
it, and yeah,
right.
But
Or you
Amazon's
can
like, we don't
bundle it
give a
in.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that shit.
Yeah.
So, far be it for us to like praise one of these fucking streaming services,
Sure.
but I mean, it is what it is. You call
it's
a
good.
spade a
It's a good
spade.
service.
It's a good service. What? Don't do this. Don't do this.
Not now.
Not now.
Please. Let me eat your watch.
Fully grabbed. All right, let's take a break for a second.
Okay.
Let's do an intermission. I'm gonna take her out.
Okay.
All right, we'll be
Take me on.
intermission. We'll be right back.
Bye.
Yeah. Let's just say underrated when you're looking
Sure.
at the other streaming services. People always talk about Netflix, Disney Plus, Max, and now you're starting to see other players in the game, Paramount and Peacock and whatnot. Don't sleep on Amazon. Again, as much as I hate to big up a billionaire corporation.
Sure.
So anyway, they're producing this show.
Yeah. Directed by the guy who did Westworld, the TV show, for HBO.
And with direct involvement from the guy who made Fallout, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd
So,
Howard.
I mean, this, we got a pretty decent trailer.
Were you a Fallout guy? Did you play Fallout 3,
So
4,
I played Fallout 3
or Vegas?
and I played, I've never beat a Fallout game.
Okay.
I've played 3, 4, and I played like a lot of New Vegas because New Vegas was actually the first Fallout game that I got.
It's
And
a
I was
good
like,
one.
this game's
It's a good one to get
awesome.
into. Yeah.
And then it made me go back and play 3, and then I was excited for 4. But I don't think I ever like went out and bought them. I think I always borrowed them from a friend or played them at a friend's house.
Still do that to this day.
That's right. So I know a bit of the lore, obviously. I understand the game itself.
Yeah.
I understand like the
You get
sense
the
of humor
vibes.
of the game. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. So when I watch the show, there's probably going to be a lot of references that like fly over my head, but I will understand if they don't nail the tone.
Sure.
Because I understand the tone
Yeah.
of the.
You'll
of
know the
game.
ghouls. You'll know the
Yes.
the robots and
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. I get.
Yeah,
I get. You're a big Fallout fan.
I am.
Yeah. So
I will say not the biggest because I'm not one of those nerds that went back and played like 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Because those are dramatically different games.
Yeah.
With a rabid fan base of their own.
Well, post 3 Fallout, I think is like a
post
different.
2, 3, 4.
Oh no, I'm sorry. 3. I meant
Yeah,
to
yeah.
count. That's why I meant counting 3.
Yeah. 3 on is like its own thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was actually a pretty late adopter. I got into 3 on 360, but bought like the Ultimate Edition of it that had all the DLC and stuff, which is obviously like way after the 3 came out.
Yeah.
And just like tore through it. It was like the only game I played for like an entire year.
Yeah.
Then Skyrim came out and took me away. So, but I was so into 3.
away.
Yeah. I got suckered in. But
Skyrim escape.
3 was so good for a long time for me. I liked 4. I beat 4, but
Cry about it.
sorry, more instant time. 4 was good, but not as good, and but I still enjoyed it. And I played I dabbled in New Vegas, never beat it, but
New Vegas was a lot of fun.
I mean, everyone I've ever talked to about it says New Vegas is their favorite. And I can see why. It seems like 3, but even cooler.
Yeah.
It's like 3 that fucks.
Yeah.
But that being said, watching the trailer got me super excited. This was a project that I had like no excitement for. Because I'm like, there's no way they can do this right. Because it's one of those properties that like, it's a sci-fi property that's like also semi-set in the, like stuck in the 1950s. So it has like a certain aesthetic they have to get right. There's like a megaton of CGI required in it and special effects and stuff like that, visual effects. I'm like, there's no way they can make this make sense for TV, especially.
Yeah.
I can see maybe a movie if they throw like, millions and millions of dollars at it, but TV show, no way.
Seems like they're throwing millions and millions.
They are
dollars
throwing
at this
millions.
TV
It
show.
looks like they're throwing millions and millions. I mean, the cast is stacked, like we said when we saw the trailer. The effects, even in a trailer, look really good.
Yeah.
They look like they get the makeup right. It has the Fallout sense of humor that is necessary, and the whole like retro 50s nuclear aesthetic, which is also super necessary for Fallout to work.
Yeah.
So it seems like hopefully with the game director Todd Howard, working alongside them to be kind of like the holder of the Bible of this thing.
Yeah.
They'll get the tone right,
Yeah.
And Westworld was awesome. I don't know if you saw any Westworld.
I watched the first season.
Yeah. First two
Liked it a lot.
seasons were knockout.
Yeah.
Awesome. Incredible TV. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I am more excited about this than I thought I would be after the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trash, not trash?
Not trash at all. And instilled the highest level of not trash, I think. Like
Yeah.
it really instilled excitement in me that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll say the last thing I'll say on it is like, it's good that it's an established property. I don't know how much that I would be excited. And again, this goes back to the Amazon bias.
Yeah.
Amazon producing a show like that, I don't know how excited I would be if it was just like, look at this new show that Amazon made. Because I haven't watched some of like the movies that they've done.
Yeah.
And but I will say it looks like so far they're nailing everything that they need to nail.
Yeah. I would say even if you're not familiar with the property, if you watch the trailer, I think you'd still get excited.
Yeah.
It looks interesting enough. It looks like its own unique thing with like the rad roaches and like some weird guy with no nose and explosions going off and
Nuclear explosions.
nuclear.
Nuclear explosions.
Yeah.
Speaking of nuclear
Nuclear.
explosions, Godzilla
X
Kong.
Kong.
The New Empire.
Wow.
You got the monsters back, baby. We're in full.
Boys are back in town.
You saw that, right? Did you see the guy who like?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're full swing in this like rebooted MonsterVerse.
Oh yeah.
Which is like it's so
The kaiju are back, baby.
it's crazy, dog. They did like 33 movies,
Yeah.
and then they were like, "Let's do it again." And they're gonna probably do like 33 more,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be like
If we're
100
so
movies
lucky.
at this. Yeah,
If we're so lucky.
it's so. I love it, man. I love
Yeah.
that they're just like we could just keep doing this, and then we'll and every couple of years we'll just let a new. It's like the Bond movies. We'll just
it reminds even better than Bond in my opinion, because you can have multiple like kinds of these movies. Whereas
Yeah.
Bond, it's like it's one thing, you know. You do the Bond and that's it.
do the Bond.
With these, it's like taking a picture. You have a serious one and a funny one. You know, like
Yeah.
it's great, and
Yeah.
they can live
Yeah.
alongside each other and it not cross streams.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I was very confused about that. Actually, I was googling because I was like, because I saw Godzilla.
The American one, the Garrett Edwards
Yeah.
Godzilla, or Gareth.
We saw that in theaters,
Gareth?
I think. Didn't we
Is it
see
Gareth?
that? I think it's Gareth.
Yeah, we saw that one in theaters. Yeah,
And I remember not really liking it that much,
It was-
except for a couple of things.
yeah, it was
Like,
okay.
yeah.
It was all right.
And then King of Monsters came out, and I didn't watch that because I wasn't that excited about.
Yeah,
We saw Godzilla, and it didn't really excite me. But I'd seen Kong.
sure.
the Kong
Skull
movie.
Island.
Yeah, Skull Island.
Skull Island, yeah.
And I thought that was good.
That was a good one. Yeah,
So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. Then they did King of Monsters, and then they did Godzilla v Kong, and I was
Yes.
like, okay, cool. We're
which
doing,
was in the weird streaming era.
yeah. So that was kind of harder to.
The Panini.
I mean, I guess it would have been easier to watch at the time, but then I just didn't watch it. So now
Yeah.
I'm kind of behind a little
Sure.
bit. So then I see this, and I'm like, this trailer kind of makes me want to go back and I want to watch King of Monsters.
I will
and-
say,
and-
King of Monsters is more fun than you think.
Yeah.
it's a good time. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
fun watch.
I didn't see Godzilla v Kong either, so I saw Skull Island. Kong
Godzilla
and-
v Kong is dumb, but in a relatively fun way.
Yeah.
So, I'd say worth a watch.
Yeah.
I think I gave it a pseudo review on the podcast.
I think
when
so.
saw it.
I
yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
What I didn't know until this trailer came out was how many people, and I guess I should have realized this just being in this culture, that there's a niche for everybody.
Sure.
And there is going to be a community for every niche.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But I just did not know how many people were passionate Godzilla fans until this trailer came
Yeah.
out. And
Of this specific sect of Godzilla.
Yeah.
The American remakes of Godzilla.
Yeah, so because there are different
Post
fan
Matthew
bases
Broderick.
for they there's like all these people who like the classic ones.
Yeah.
Then there's the people who like these
Showa
newer
era.
ones. Yeah. Yeah. They're in
yeah.
eras.
Yeah, yeah.
And the people who watch all the Japanese ones, and they're people who are like
The dubs, subs.
They say like Godzilla should not be an American-made enterprise at all. It's
Sure.
a Japanese thing, and it should always be a Japanese thing.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
these different communities, I just had no idea that it ran that deep for Godzilla, which
Yeah.
is it's funny. Nerds, man. Nerds
Yeah.
are nerd about anything.
I will say Godzilla as a property is inherently anti-war and kind of anti-American.
Yeah. So that's like the whole thing. That's like the whole bit.
It's like
it's like
it's literally the purpose of Godzilla.
yeah.
If
he
you watch
is an
the
allegory
first one,
for us.
he's an allegory for specifically nuclear war, the nuke and war itself.
Yeah.
Like
so when they turn him into like this basically like
Blockbuster
Power Ranger
property.
kind of where
which
it's just
mind
like,
you,
Yeah.
mind you, Japan did the same. Did that?
yeah,
first.
yeah.
They made him into this just it's like fun kaiju that is obviously somebody in a suit,
Yeah.
crushing miniatures. That has its own charm and fun to
Right.
it.
So that's when people get mad about the fact that like they're not taking it seriously anymore. It's like, dog, we got decades of Japanese people not taking it seriously.
But they
also.
can, we can't.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised
get it.
by that to see
I get it.
the fervor, the very emotional reaction
Yeah.
to the trailer. I'm watching it and I'm just like, I'll just say spoiler alert, not trash. I thought it looked fucking awesome. I was like, dude, I want to watch this movie. This looks cool as shit.
I will say I was tipping the toes onto trash, but then I got over myself.
Yeah.
And I realized it's definitely not trash in the way that like a Fast and Furious trailer is. You know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it just looks like dumb fun.
Yeah.
Where you can see like millions of dollars in visual effects, a little bit of human drama mixed in for fun, and just have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, munching some popcorn.
Yeah.
So I'm into it.
Why not?
I'm into it.
And why not?
I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
I want to see what Godzilla does with that gauntlet he has now.
Dude. You mean
King Kong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How he got that gauntlet? It basically looked like
I
Thanos'
will pay the $15 just to see
just to
how
see
he
the
does
process
that.
of how he
Yeah.
comes about that thing.
Yeah.
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 I hope he talks like Amy, you know, like
Yeah.
with the sign language.
And you just
Amy, hungry. Amy,
Kong
thirsty.
need gauntlet.
What? Gauntlet.
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet. How does he know that sign?
Who told him that? Is that even a sign?
Mecha gauntlet.
Need to beat other Kongs with gauntlet.
Gauntlet.
All right. That was trailer trash. I think, right? We
Yeah,
just got no
that
other
was-
trailers.
that was
trailer
everything.
trash.
That was
trailer
everything.
trash.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
We got some fun, exciting stuff.
Beep,
coming
beep.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You got your hands on the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I was like, trying to explain how we're only on the third game to someone. Actually, I think it was Andy.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain to them how we're on the third. Maybe it wasn't Andy. It doesn't matter. I was, and it's just the Call of Duty franchise has been around long enough to have gotten through multiple games
Yeah.
and then rebooted.
And gotten to the end.
Yeah.
The end of a reboot. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're at the third game of the rebooted series.
Yeah.
So that's how we're at Modern Warfare 3.
Sure.
And the last time we did this, they started dipping into sci-fi. Advanced Warfare, I think, was the fourth one.
Yeah.
Or
After Modern
after
Warfare.
Modern, yeah. So yeah,
And then Ghosts.
once they were done with Modern Warfare, they
Yeah.
were like Advanced Warfare. And
Yeah,
then it
you
got
can
it-
wall run now.
Yeah, and then Ghosts, and then they went Cold War.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we've
Well, it's
lost
like
the
Cold
plot.
War 3 at that point, right?
No.
Because 3, you had like mechs and shit.
Well, Advanced Warfare, they had mechs.
Yeah.
But there was Black Ops 1 through 3.
Black Ops 1 came before Ghosts.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Ghost came after that.
Yeah.
And then Cold War was
2.
did they do multiple Cold Wars?
No, I'm thinking Black Ops. I'm sorry.
Right, that's
Yeah.
what I thought you were thinking.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of
It's confusing.
It is confusing.
It's confusing.
It is confusing.
Yes.
Because Black Ops is kind of
Black
a Cold
Ops is
War
all
game.
about the Cold War. Yeah, for sure.
So then they do Cold War, and you're like,
But then there's a
isn't-
Cold War 3 in the future that continues the story of Cold War 2. And it's but that was the one that was online only, like multiplayer only.
I don't even know. You've lost me now.
I don't.
It's hard to keep up because the thing is, I stopped playing the narratives.
Yeah, I know. To my
So,
chagrin.
Yeah. But you did play the narrative.
I did.
Of this one.
Yeah,
So are you looking up the series?
I was. Yes. All Call of Duty games in release order.
Okay.
Obviously, we have Call of Duty. Came out 2003. World War II game, if you're not familiar. COD 2, 2005. Another World War II game. COD 3, 2006.
Then COD 4 is Modern Warfare.
4, it came out in 07. It's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Okay.
Yes.
That's where we get into the point where we're like, oh, this is one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
the first couple games are like, they're good games. They're really good.
Oh, they're great for their time. And I think, like, I want to say COD 2 was either a launch game or close to it for the 360.
yeah.
I remember it being like a showcase for how awesome the graphics could be on
Yeah.
that console.
But nothing like what we were about to see with Modern Warfare.
Oh no, yeah. So 08, we actually had World at War, which is often forgotten.
Right, World at War. I have that game.
Back at WW2. Then 09, Modern Warfare 2. 10 was Black Ops. 010.
Another
010,
another
2010.
watershed moment for these games because
Yeah.
Black Ops is also one of the greatest games
Yeah.
ever made.
Yep. Then finally, 2011, we get Modern Warfare 3. Then Black Ops 2 in 2012.
Okay.
Then Ghost in 2013.
Okay.
Advanced Warfare in 2014.
Uh-huh.
So literally like yearly, we're getting these games.
At this point, we're going yearly.
Yeah. Then Blops 3 in 2015. Then Infinite Warfare. I forgot all about that one.
I forgot about Infinite Warfare.
In 2016.
They doubled down.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they said, you know what? We've gone too far with the future stuff. Let's bring it back to World War II in 2017.
Yeah.
2018, Black Ops 4 and Blackout.
Blackout. That was the first version of
Yeah.
their battle royale mode.
Correct. And I correct myself. I think Black Ops 4 was the multiplayer only Black
Okay.
Ops.
Okay.
Yeah. 2019 gave us Call of Duty Mobile.
Ugh.
Then we got the Modern Warfare remake in 2019.
There we go.
2020, we got Warzone, which was just an add-on, essentially. 2020 also came with Black Ops Cold War.
Okay, so it's Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I got confused.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then 2021 Vanguard, which went back to World War II.
Yeah.
2022, we got Modern Warfare 2 again.
Yep.
And then finally,
And then
well, actually, in between then, 2022, we got Warzone 2.0 and DMZ.
those aren't really games.
Yeah,
though.
they're
Those
not.
Are just
They're
modes that
they're modes that you add on to it. And then finally, in 2023, we are here today for Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just say something. Blackout, so much fun.
Yeah.
Like I complained, I think, while we were playing it, and the more that I think about it, I get this nostalgic feeling over like the map and the way that the guns were, like, because you would find pieces of the gun, like you basically built an Ultima weapon.
Yeah.
And then by the time you got, if you got to the end game, you had 2 Ultima weapons, and you were like, it was a fight between you and the next person who like was smart enough to put together a good gun, and it was. And you had to, and it was smart. You had to like, all right, are you gonna like expend all of your resources on creating like the best sniper class or the best SMG or the best AR or whatever? How many things are you gonna hold on to when you get to the end game?
Yeah.
When you're having this final fight with like the 2 or 3 last squads, what are you gonna have? Are you smart enough to have like outplayed everybody? It was Blackout underrated.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all right, Modern Warfare 3.
Yes, I have it. I've played it. Played it for a few hours. I've beaten the campaign, which was very short. I'll say that much.
It seems like they're getting shorter and shorter with the narrative because they're like, people aren't playing this.
Yeah, which is disappointing because I'm people and I play them. Okay, like I really care about the narrative.
Yeah.
And I will say it has been a high point in recent years in all of the like the new Modern Warfares. The campaign's been awesome.
Yeah.
Like they've gone above and beyond to make it like fun, to switch up the like style of gameplay, to have like really cool set pieces and like do what Call of Duty's supposed to do, which is like put you into a Michael Bay movie essentially, but make it seem like realistic and tactical.
Yeah.
Tactical, you know.
Cool.
But I gotta say, as far as a quick review for Modern Warfare 3's campaign, I don't feel like it was overly long. I really don't feel like it was too short, though. I feel like it was kind of the right length for what it was. But only because like they kept going back to the same gameplay style over and over again, and it was really annoying to me. What they did essentially, and a lot of people are saying this is like a cop-out, to just kind of like rehash maps that they had, but they give you a handful of levels that are essentially like beat at your own pace as opposed to being on rails, essentially, which is what Call of Duty campaigns have always been.
Yeah.
Which is just like you run through a certain level and you get to the end of it and you're done.
Yeah.
And this one, like, they have a few of those, but also in between they have these open maps that you literally like parachute into, and you have NPCs that you take out, and you have to go to specific like objectives and do something. And
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. You didn't like that.
Cool in concept, and I really thought it worked for the first couple, but once you get to like the third one, it's like
It got repetitive.
yeah, it really felt shoot in, and I don't like to say like the typical, lazy dev type of thing, but it didn't feel worth my while.
Yeah.
And it felt like the story was rushed. I loved all the characters involved. I still think they were like really cool characters to play as, and like they're like the coolest like milsim guys and dudes, and I like Farah. She's super
Dudes
cool.
being guys. Farrah's cool.
Yeah, all of them are like. I still think that ensemble cast is really cool, well acted, and it's a satisfying story. But
A couple of dudes being guys.
yeah, it just felt. I couldn't help but feel like the edges of this was a DLC that they expanded into its own game. Unfortunately.
Well, the thing about Call of Duty, the single player mode in Call of Duty is like it always feels like you're playing like a Michael Bay movie or like a Jerry Bruckheimer movie.
Yes.
And that's like, excuse me, the strength of that part of the game, which is that it's like this thrill ride. And it takes a couple hours to get through, but it's like this fast couple hours. It's whippy, and it's like it's really entertaining, and it's basically like playing through a blockbuster movie. Yeah. And then to take that away and to be like, kind of do whatever you want. It's like, but I don't wanna.
That's exactly what it was. Is like the gap of entertainment from the ones that are the traditional style like that, and the ones that are like, go figure it out. It's like it's a cavern, because you don't get those satisfying set pieces, like those wow moments that you're like, oh my god, I'm upside down shooting people from a car.
Right.
Like those things don't happen when it's open to your own exploration.
Right. And also, it's not... Okay, I guess I should just leave this to you, but I should ask. Games that are you drop into a level and then you beat the game at your own, you beat that level at your own pace. Those are games like, heavy exploration games like God of War or Far Cry or whatever. You play those games and you get rewarded for the exploration. You get rewarded for taking your time and seeing like the entire expanse of what these devs have put together. In a game like Call of Duty, now correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't feel like that's the case.
No,
like you're not getting bonus points for like walking the edges of the map to make sure you don't miss anything.
Finding intel or,
you're just like, you just dropped in. And
the only thing that you get for exploration, and it's not even really exploration because you see it on your map, your mini map, but like you can find like stocks of weapons and stuff that you can, switch out your weapons for.
Yeah.
Which is cool, like if you want to switch up what you're playing with. But I found myself in each of these like do-it-yourself levels, just burning through it. And some of them are like, we have to keep quiet, and I just go in bop 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 bop, and just make it loud and just run through the entire map, and I didn't die.
No
consequences. It was fine. It was
Yeah.
fine. I could just do it that way.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, like, it doesn't matter what gun they give you in the game. Like, the NPCs, even if you put them in like, the hardest difficulty, they're pretty easy to dispatch.
It's just the only thing that gets difficult is if they're a horde, which happens because it's like, it's almost like in Metal Gear Solid 5, when you raise the alarm, like, your monster closets open up and, like, tons of enemies start pooling in.
Yeah.
But since you're, John Rambo, you can just mow them down and keep going to your objective.
Right.
You reach the objective, you do the thing, and you move on to the next.
Right.
And that's it. Like, it's super easy. It's super brainless. And that's the times that I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, this is not good. The times that it's more linear and more focused as far as, like, a traditional Call of Duty game usually is, were the times I forgot about all that. And I'm like, I'm in the story. I'm on the roller coaster ride. Take me away.
Take me away.
Take me where you want to take me, Daddy.
Take me away.
And in those times, I think the storyline actually shines. I think it's still really well acted, really well animated, interesting. The way they take the storyline in a sort of like a multiverse way. If you've played the original Modern Warfare trilogy, things change, things end up differently for our cast of characters, which is fun. But I, ultimately was left feeling a little unsatisfied by the end of it. I don't think it's as bad as people are saying, but I do realize that those open map levels were a bad choice to do more than like twice.
Yeah, it seems like a fun bit, but unless the whole game is going to be like that.
If it was like an open world Call of Duty game,
Yeah.
different story. But that's not what it is.
Yeah.
And it wasn't designed to be. So yeah, just it kind of felt like recycling of maps and modes and stuff. But anyway.
How's the multiplayer?
Multiplayer is what you expect.
Okay.
It's kinetic, it's fun, it's fast. It's still satisfying.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's still satisfying. And
There's just something about Call of Duty multiplayer, man, that like even though I don't play it anymore and I kind of hate it, when you do play it, when you're in it, you're like, it is a satisfying mode to play.
it really is. And
It's like an arcade. It really hits on like
an-
parts of your brain.
Yeah.
It makes noises.
it's a
and-
reptile brain thing.
Yeah.
The
Cha-ching and like
when you hit headshot and it goes,
and you know that you're hitting a headshot and you're like,
yeah. It really is. There's a
satisfying.
There's a weird like reptile brain satisfaction involved with this entire thing. It's so addictive.
yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's great. And mind you, like before I got this as my gift, I was kind of itching for it again. And I'm like, what can I do other than going back to Modern Warfare 2? And so I jumped into Battlefield again. And it is, I mean, leaps and bounds better of a game. They continue to update it. They continue to support it, even though the latest Battlefield was like canned by everyone.
Yeah.
But it's still in concept alone and mechanics, a better game.
It is.
It's such a better game.
Battlefield has always been a better game
Yeah.
than Call of Duty.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Call of Duty's the hotter chick. You know, like
it
it just
is,
for
it
some
is.
reason it's like it's obviously it like you can't
Because
have,
she's easier.
Yeah. Well, you can't have a conversation with her.
No. She's dumb,
She's dumb,
but she's fun.
but she's fun. And that's what it is. That's
Yeah.
really all it is.
Battlefield is more challenging, and
Battlefield
you're like,
is-
she's more satisfying in the long run.
You wifey Battlefield.
Yeah. Do I want to marry this person
Right.
yet? No,
But
I'm not ready to.
You
yeah.
date Call of Duty.
Still, I'm not ready to
Right.
settle down. So
And
I'm
I
gonna
will
be-
say, going back and playing Battlefield, like it was satisfying, but in a different way. It didn't scratch the itch. Playing Call of Duty is what scratches the Call of Duty itch.
it does. It does.
Yeah. So I'm happy to have it. I texted you saying, unfortunately,
Yeah.
I'm back in, which I still feel, but
The thing is, the only reason I would get it is to play it to level up the guns so that I don't get mopped in Warzone.
right.
So I'm like, do I spend $75 on a game just so that I can update
Just to keep up with the
guns?
Joneses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That's the tough part, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, I just don't really. And also, the fact of the matter is, I got a lot of games that I need to play before I jump back into a multiplayer.
Sure.
Because it's a time suck. Like,
For sure.
I can wake up and spend my whole day playing a Call of Duty before I like go to work, or even
Yeah.
like on my day off. Just
Yeah.
sit there and with my gamer juice, make a sandwich for myself. Don't even change clothes.
yeah.
Just sit there in
Smell
my
terrible.
boxers and just smell like you get that gamer sweat going, where your armpits just start to drip
For
and
no
you're like,
reason.
What's happening?
No
I'm
reason
not
at all.
doing anything. I'm
Yeah.
just sitting here.
You're in a climate controlled room.
Yeah, and you just feel like a piece of shit. That's the kind of like, and I could do that all day. I used to get that gamer sweat all the time. When I would play when I'd sit and play like when I was a kid and play
Smell like hammocks.
yeah.
Yeah.
And play like old God of War.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, long narrative, like
used to
Metal Gear
sit-
Solid.
I used to sit on my bedroom floor, Indian style.
Yeah.
Just playing for hours
Yeah.
on end. Literally until did you ever get into that psychosis where it's like you get stuck at a place, but you don't even consciously like think about it.
Yeah.
You just keep trying and grinding over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I did that like all the time.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Crazy
making.
There was
Yeah. Yeah. You hear the same music over and over again, same sound effects over and over again.
Woo! Oh man.
Yeah.
Man. This is the kind of shit.
You're not built like us.
You're not built like us. That's exactly, man. You're not built like us, dog. The kind of shit that we did as fat little nerdy gamer
Especially
kids.
those blockbuster games you had to return the next
Dude,
day.
are you kidding me? You had to get through
You
it because
gotta
you had to
grind.
return it, or
Yep.
you were gonna have to pay a ton of money.
Yeah.
So you had to beat the game.
Yeah.
You had to.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, you're also nerdy and poor.
Yeah, right.
So it's not like you had a bunch of money
Sure.
to go out and buy. Like,
Couldn't buy them all.
I didn't have a collection of games until I had my own job.
Sure.
So all the games that I played before, like Xbox 360,
Yeah.
were blockbuster games. That like you had to get that shit. You had to get through that
at
shit.
very best, the pre-owned section. Of Blockbuster.
Yeah.
With no box.
Nothing.
It's just
disc and like the paper that they
paper
put in there that
box,
they were
yeah.
like it might be Devil May Cry. I don't know. It could be.
Could be.
And that's how you played games, man.
Yeah.
Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't understand. There's people who play games now where you're so used to current gen and next gen consoles where like you can just hit pause, literally just pause the game in the state that it's in.
Yeah.
Put it down and come back. You don't know the struggle.
The memory card struggle.
Dude.
When your parents spent $200 to get you a PS1.
Yeah.
And you just realize you need to spend another $60 on a memory card.
And then in the game, it's not like they had these autosave features that
Hell no.
all games have now. You had to get to a checkpoint.
A save
point.
Yeah.
And then once you got there, that's when you were allowed to stop playing.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't do that, good fucking
Sorry.
luck.
Pause the game and leave it on.
Yeah.
And hope it doesn't
and
die.
Hope nobody kicks the cord or your console doesn't die.
Yeah.
I killed my Dreamcast playing Sonic 1 and Sonic 2.
Adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I killed my Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Yeah.
And I regret it.
Yeah.
I stayed up till like 7 from like the first day till 7 a.m. the next day playing Sonic Adventure 2.
I remember the smell of my Gamecast. No.
Dying.
Yeah.
Dreamcast.
I remember the smell of the plastic overheating. I literally remember that smell.
Please
Help! Turn me off!
me off. I need to pee.
This is enough Power Stone.
You've
played enough Power Stone.
Jet set. No. Just turn it off.
It has tubes in it.
Just on its deathbed.
Yeah. Kill me! Kill me!
The fucking.
Yeah. No more 2K, please!
It was worth it.
God.
And then, we didn't know what we had, man, until it was gone.
Yep. Now everything's so easy, you kids.
So easy. You guys don't get it. You don't
You
get
damn
how
kids.
You don't get how hard life was before.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
so as far as Modern Warfare 3,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's what you expect. The best and worst thing about it is that it is absolutely familiar.
Yeah.
All of it is it's like putting on an old shoe.
Yeah.
No surprises really. Your weapons from Modern Warfare 1 and 2, no, I think only 2. I could be wrong on this. Maybe 1 as well. Transfer over. So whatever you have and whatever you've unlocked in the past 2 games are right there for you. You don't have to wait to unlock those.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can hop right in and play with your favorite guns.
It is a bit of a fucking time suck to be like, hey, new game. Now you have to. I don't like. There's no plausible reason for why you get into the new game and they're like, you don't get to create your own class until you get to level whatever.
That's still the case, but it's only like level 5. So you just play a couple rounds and you're good.
That's fine. Level 5
Yeah,
is fine.
yeah.
I just don't. I think that is a I think that's a cop out. I
Yeah.
think that's the devs like not really knowing what to do with that part of the
yeah.
game, like the beginning of the game.
It's like a Metroidvania where it's like you have nothing anymore. Like you start off with everything, and it's like, oh, for some unexpected reason,
You just don't have
your
stuff
stuff
anymore.
has been taken away.
Yeah, I don't like that shit. Make the game harder.
Sure.
Make the game more interesting.
Yeah.
I do like God of War Ragnarok is really fun, for instance, because you're just like you're back in it and you have your shit and you just do your thing.
Yeah.
And then you get more shit.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we didn't take your shit away.
We
gave
added to
you
it.
more shit.
Yeah.
That's
Makes
awesome.
sense. It makes sense.
That's how all these games should play. And I haven't played Spider-Man 2, but I feel like Spider-Man 2 is another one where like it's a game where what is the plausible explanation for the game being set a couple months after the first game and or a couple months after Miles Morales and not having all those abilities?
I will say they do a decent job of kind of addressing that in a way that you may not expect, which is good. They do an additive thing for you. You start off with a certain sect of things, and it changes about midway through the game, which is nice.
Racism.
Yeah. So, all that being said, I think if I had to give it a score out of 6 bottle caps,
Please.
Overall, as a total product, I would give it a 3.5 out of 6 bottle caps.
Okay.
I think if you're a Call of Duty fan and you are into multiplayer, it's worth your while to eventually pick this one up. I don't think you got to run out and grab it today.
Did you play Warzone at all?
No, I haven't. I don't think the new version's out yet, right?
I don't know.
I don't
haven't
think it
played
is.
Warzone in months.
I don't think it is. I think they're still like waiting to update that portion of it. So everyone's in multiplayer right now, from what I know.
Okay.
I don't know much. I stay in my lane. But yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of multiplayer alone, I think it's worth your while. Maybe wait for a discount, or if you don't have a PS5 right now, they have a bundle. I think it's not a bad bundle to pick up. It's still Call of Duty. It's still fun. It's still as visceral and arcadey and fast as you're hoping for. And again, like something I didn't mention, it's very steeped in nostalgia. So you get a lot of the retro maps.
Yeah.
Off rip. And
yes, I did see that. Robin has Call of Duty 3,
Yeah.
and I saw that they brought back a lot of
it's the best thing about the game.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I'm
'em
sorry I didn't say that ahead of time, but it is like, again, it adds to the old shoe quality of it that's like just so comfy.
Yeah.
It's like, I know this. Oh, it's nice. It looks
Yeah.
better now, and
any map that I already know like the ins and outs
yeah, it
of.
just feels good. It feels good. They add a couple
nice.
little, mix-ups here and there.
Yeah.
Switch-ups. And the good thing is, too, also, if you paid for any of your skins, I think in Modern Warfare 2, those carry over as well.
That's cool.
So I've seen a lot of, like, Spawn running around.
The only skin that I ever paid my hard-earned money on,
John McClane?
John McClane. That's the only one I ever paid for.
Yeah.
And I do not regret it at all. Because at first I wasn't gonna pay for any skin, and then I saw that they were using actual lines from the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta have it.
Yeah.
I gotta have it.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Welcome to the party, pal. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing you said made me want to get the game.
That's fine. No, that's perfectly fine.
But
Yeah.
I will see. I'll jump back into Warzone and see if like it's absolutely necessary. Like if I can get a dub in Warzone without getting Modern Warfare 3,
Sure.
I won't get
Yeah,
Modern
yeah,
Warfare
yeah.
3.
If you haven't, I will say for anyone out there, and including you, if you haven't had the hankering for Call of Duty, skip it. It's
No.
fine. You don't need it.
The thing is, for me personally, I can't speak for you guys. Me personally, I have been having a hankering for like just a really interesting game, and you've given me.
You have plenty, my
I know
friend.
that's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm like, I don't have any desire for Modern Warfare 3 because I have a wealth of games where like these look interesting to me. I've been craving something like what you've said is this DLC Cyberpunk 2077, like what it has
So good.
become, like
So
the
good.
complete version of the game. That's
So
the
good.
kind of shit that I've been craving. So that and Spider-Man and Final Fantasy.
Spider-Man.
This is the kind of shit. That's the kind of shit that I've been craving. Like, is a fun
Alan Wake 2.
narrative. Well, Alan Wake 1. Alan Wake 1 was actually on sale, and I thought about buying it just to understand Alan Wake 2, but I didn't because, dog, what am I going to do? That's 5 games. 5 games I'd have to play. Give me a break.
All right.
Give me a break.
Listen, this is what you got to do, okay?
Tell me.
This is what you got to
What
do.
do I got to do?
I'll be your gaming manager here.
Okay.
What you got to do is
What you got to do?
you got to, I would say, start off with Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
It's the biggest investment,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
You get into that. You play, I'd say, midway through the storyline, okay? To get there, if you're digging it, you get the DLC. You buy the DLC, okay? So
Oh, I have to buy the
you
DLC?
You gotta buy the
It
DLC.
didn't just come with the game?
It did not. It was an add-on. However, you don't have to. You don't have to. They've already updated the game itself enough to make it worth your while.
Okay.
But the DLC, I'm telling you, with Idris Elba, maybe one of my favorite performances he's ever done.
Wow.
Bar none, including Luther.
Wow.
He is so good. He is so good in Cyberpunk. I think it's one of his coolest roles. I think maybe second to Luther.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, now you get me excited. Now you're speaking you're sprechen my language there, brother.
And it is... I don't want to spoil anything. It's just so well done.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
So I'm saying if you're feeling it after about 10 hours of playing, I'd say commit to it. Focus on that.
Okay.
Focus on it until you beat it,
Okay.
including the DLC, which is placed about midway through the storyline. Okay? If you decide to jump off of that, I would say go to Spider-Man because it's fun, it's easy, it's light. Not that much of an investment. You done with that? Alan Wake.
Okay.
Get weird.
So I'm completely skipping Final Fantasy at this point.
Give it a break. Give it a break.
Okay.
Alan Wake, I feel like Alan Wake 2 is a front runner for Game of the Year. And that's why I say you should focus on Alan Wake 2. Third on this list. Okay?
Okay.
Because it's not that big of an investment. It's not that long of a game.
Okay.
And then, finally, Final Fantasy. Because though I don't think the genre is up your style, as far as it being like, Dungeons and Dragons, essentially.
Yeah.
I do think you will like the more anime elements of it, especially towards the end game. But it is a big investment
Okay.
because it's an RPG,
Okay.
even though it plays more like a Devil May Cry.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Heard.
that's what you should do.
Heard. Done and done.
Take that for what you will. In the meantime, I say you watch a playthrough of Alan Wake.
Well, I love to watch a playthrough.
Yeah,
So maybe I will do.
Yeah.
Not maybe. I will do that.
you should do that.
Probably-
You should do
I'll
that.
do that tonight.
You should do that. Do Control storyline playthrough as well,
Yeah.
and then the Alan Wake American Nightmare playthrough as well.
Okay.
So those 3. That'll get you up to speed,
All right.
and you'll be ready. And that way you know if it's something up your alley. And if it's not, you don't have to play it.
All right.
But I hope you do, because if not, I'll be disappointed.
Okay.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
All right. Listen. Here's the thing.
Okay. Here's the deal, man.
I feel like we've gotten to a point where we can take this little Filoni conversation, push it to next week.
Okay.
We're at almost an hour 45.
Let's do that.
Unless you have something do you really need to get something off your chest about Dave Filoni?
No.
How much you hate him?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't do that.
So, no. We'll wait till next week. And I also kind of feel like next week by the time it comes out, will be halfway through December.
Yes.
Do you think that we should wait until the week after or that week to do a best of?
I mean, probably that week, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
Because then after that, we can do like a holiday extravaganza.
Yeah.
Okay.
So next week, best of.
Yeah.
Best of the year.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So we're talking about next week, but there's a couple of things that we have to do this week.
Right now.
Okay. And number one on that list is
Right
the
here.
cheers
Right now.
of the week.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, sir. Obi, please tell the people what you're cheers into.
My cheers of the week. Don't cheers it
Sorry.
yet.
Hold on.
Relax.
I got it. I was really excited.
Don't pre-cheers.
Yeah, sorry.
My cheers of the week goes to Godzilla -1.
Hey. That's, yeah.
So old Geraldine and me went to
Geraldine.
go see Godzilla -1
Geraldine.
in theaters, and it turns out we weren't the only ones. It's been making numbers.
Yeah,
it's been.
Really?
Yeah. It was the #1 movie in America.
What?
Yeah.
No shit.
When it debuted, yes. Yeah, beat out the Song of Fire and Ice or whatever the fuck. The I know
what you're the Hunger Games game. Whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah. It beat that movie.
Yeah.
Which apparently is like a record for a Japanese film in America.
Yeah, I mean, how often do we get like Japanese made movies?
Not super often, for a generally wide release. So
-1 was what started my confusion with, because I was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna catch up.
Sure.
And then I was like, wait, so then there's
Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shin Godzilla, and I was like, so wait, when that come out, and then
Yeah,
Godzilla -1. I did all the research, and I understand, but you can tell the people. But I did all the research to figure out what I need to watch and what I need to do. But
Yeah, so Shin Godzilla is its own thing. Also highly recommend. I think they're both masterpieces of the genre. But Godzilla -1 is essentially a reboot of Godzilla. So it goes back to its origins of being a post-World War II story. And kind of like its predecessor, the original Godzilla, or Gojira, if you will.
Gojira.
It's kind of heavily focused on the people, which is kind of rare, especially to be celebrated by audiences, because generally people tend to see the like human drama as just a distraction between the action scenes.
See, and I don't get that, because to me that's like the beauty of the Godzilla movies, is like the allegories, the metaphors, and all that stuff, and like with the human drama that's happening. Obviously, it's a Godzilla movie. I don't want you to spend an hour on the people of the movie. I want to see some kaiju action.
Sure.
But what Godzilla represents, and we already talked about this in the beginning of the show, but that is a super interesting use of the character, and like how he's so to completely skip that just to have two big kaiju fighting each other is like kind of a waste. There is a point to the metaphors, and like it is an interesting movie or an interesting plot device that shouldn't be ignored.
And I will say, if that's your point of view, you will love this movie. I can't recommend it enough to you.
Gojira.
Yeah. So Godzilla -1 is, I think, it's right up there with Shin Godzilla for me as far as like modern Godzilla takes.
Yeah.
And maybe the most, to a point, the most powerful like human view of Godzilla.
Yeah.
As a monster. And I think unique in the fact that, and this isn't spoiling much at all, but the fact that it's not only critical of America, but it's critical of even Japan, and critical of warmongers in general.
Yeah.
And it's very
interesting perspective.
It's a very humanitarian movie, and it is. I've seen a lot of people kind of relate it to like Top Gun Maverick, where it's just a feel-good movie. And I think that kind of sells it a little short because I'd say like 75% of it is very dark.
Yeah.
And like to a place that I think makes general audiences uncomfortable. But I do think in its core it is a crowd pleaser, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't want to give anything away. Maybe we can do one reel in on it because I think there's a lot to talk about. But without spoiling anything, I loved it. I thought it only faltered in a couple of places here and there, and a couple of like plot points. But otherwise, I think it was like it's just such a good movie. Like such a good time at the movies, but also like a well thought out story, a very humanitarian story, and I think very refreshing for Godzilla as a whole, and a very like global story in a way.
Yeah.
That Sherry actually brought this point up. Is like she said like I've never seen a Godzilla movie that is nearly as critical of the U.S. military as it is of the Japanese military.
How many
in World
Godzilla
War
movies
II.
did you force her to watch?
She is a bigger Godzilla fan than I am.
Really?
My friend. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
She and I both, that is something we are, very connected in.
Nice.
Is Godzilla. Our love for Godzilla. We both grew up watching Godzilla. So,
That's great.
but yeah. So, highly recommend it. They just extended the showings for like another couple weeks. So
Yeah.
you can see it like well into December.
Nice.
So if they're showing it near you, especially in IMAX, we didn't get to see it in IMAX, but I would love to see it in IMAX. And I kind of want to rewatch it, so let me know if you want to see it.
Okay.
But yeah, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great movie, and I think y'all should watch it too. And I think Hollywood can actually take a note from it for humanizing their characters,
Right.
in a giant blockbuster movie.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
buzzing.
You said not to look at it as like a feel-good movie overall, but I do feel like a lot of movies nowadays are trying really hard to be like, we're interesting. It's going to end sad.
Yeah,
It's like, that doesn't make an interesting movie.
Sure.
If you earn that, then that's good.
Yeah.
But if a happy ending is earned and then you take that away, I don't think you're subverting expectations. I think that's cheap. I think you're just
Yeah,
going fuck you to the audience.
yeah. It's as cheap as doing the opposite.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, everyone survived. The end,
Then people get mad in the other way, and it's
Right,
like, well, if this movie feels like it should end in a way where people like the good, that's how I feel. Okay, I'll only touch on this for a second and get into my cheers. But I rewatched all the Final Destination movies, and
I have to say it's like that's one of my favorite series.
it's insane, and it's really fun to watch. And like if you watch them in order, like back to back to back, you see how the series evolves from the first like 3 movies. They're actually trying to say something about fate and about death's plan and how much of your life you're in control of and all this stuff. And then 4 and 5, they're just like, this is a thrill ride. We're gonna kill these people, and it just doesn't matter, dude.
Yeah.
And I think those movies, like at the very end, I think once you watch like 2 or 3 of them, that even though the protagonist quote unquote wins, they never actually win.
Yeah.
And it's always a fun, entertain, and that's the only time where I feel like because you're not really subverting people's expectations. If you've watched the series, like you're going into it knowing like everyone is gonna die at some point.
Yeah.
The third one I think is probably the best at doing this, where you think like this is the one with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
It's maybe my favorite.
I think it might be the best one in the
it's really
series.
good.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert,
They die.
they die. But not like she really, really like. I think they take a very interesting direction with the way that she understands Death's plan. Where in the first 2, they try to understand. Okay,
What are the rules?
the rules are like, okay, these people die. Though they die in this person's vision. Then the guy,
In a specific
guy or
order.
girl, they escape the death.
Yeah.
and they save like 5 or 6 people, and these are the people who are obviously going to die throughout the movie. But yeah, in a specific order, they die. So in the first one, it's a plane crash, and the second one, it's a car pileup, and it's very easy to understand. Like, okay, in a car pileup, this car blows up, blah 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 blah.
Right.
Blah. And the third one, they do a roller coaster. So each person on the roller coaster who dies in that order. The way that she figures out who's dying next is not like these weird things of like in the first one, for instance, he's cutting up a magazine and the magazine hits his fan, and then like his homeboy's name lands on his lap.
Yeah.
And it's
They're
kind
like
of
little
like
hints.
Yeah, it's stuff like that where it's kind of like obvious little things like that. In the third one, she's taking pictures of all of her friends who are gonna die. Yeah. And she has to figure out, like, what does the picture denote of how they're going to die?
Yeah.
Right?
Like you see flames behind somebody.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like I don't want to, this is not my Cheers. Although it could be my Cheers.
It could be.
My Cheers could be the Final Destination movies.
Yeah.
Do I just go into...
You could. I mean, unless you had something else better.
Okay, so, I mean, my actual Cheers was going to be the Andre 3000 album, because I actually sat down and listened to it, and it's a really good album.
Yeah.
But I won't spend too much time on that. I'll go back to the Final
Well,
Destination
you have to make it
movies.
official. Come on.
The official Cheers is the Three Stacks album.
Okay.
Because
What's it called again?
New Blue Moon.
New Blue Moon.
It could be New Blue Sun, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, Google that for me.
Okay.
It could be the New Blue Sun. Hold.
It's New Blue Sun?
New Blue Sun.
Yeah.
Actually, a really good album. I know that, you know, when it came out and we talked about it, a lot of jokes were made about it, and a lot of like memes were created about it and everything. And, you know, obviously, as if you're a hip hop fan, you're like waiting for Andre 3000 to put out a hip hop album. And then when he finally puts out an album, it's a fucking flute album, and the jokes write themselves.
Sure.
But if you didn't know who Andre 3000 was, and this new guy put out an ambient album, ambient music album, instrumental, and there wasn't no focus on the fact that there wasn't any vocals, you just listened to it.
Yeah.
And it was this guy who was like, oh, he's collaborated with like Kamasi Washington and like all these like cool jazz players and all this stuff. And they're like, oh, I'll listen to that. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's like a really good ambient music album. It's very entertaining. It's very moody. It's very there's like all these interesting beats and interesting movements in it. And like, I don't think that you need to be somebody who's very in tune to any kind of musicality. I think that you just need to be somebody with an open heart and an open mind. And I think you'd enjoy it. It's a very, like, people, I know so many people who are like, oh yeah, I listen to classical music or like instrumental music so that I can focus on studying or focus on whatever. Yo, put this Andre 3000 album on. It's good. Yeah. It's really, really fun. I was sitting out. One day I had like a pretty stressful day at work, and I was like pissed at like what shitty people are just shitty.
Yeah.
And I was pissed. So I sat out back, smoked a little bit of the cigar, had a little bit of whiskey.
Yeah.
Listened to that Andre 3000 album, and it really hit, man. It really hit. I was like, I get it now. I get it. And I'm not trying to be like, ooh, snooty, like music guy. I'm just telling you, like, it's an entertaining album.
Okay.
You know? But Final Destination. That being said, Final Destination, man. Yeah, it's Andy and I have been rewatching like all of them.
It's a good series.
And
good series.
Yeah. So it's very entertaining. Like, some of them are not, like the fourth and the fifth one are dog shit.
Yeah.
They're bad movies. Yeah. But they're fun. They're fun to watch.
I think the fourth is maybe the worst.
Yeah, because the fifth one is a
gets
cool,
a little better. Yeah,
fifth one's like a cool like pseudo reboot thing that they did, and that was really interesting.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Fourth one is
the
hands
worst.
down the worst. It's
one,
terrible.
Yeah.
It's just not good. It's the one where like people die at the speedway, and like all the characters are not compelling.
No, it's bad.
There's one guy who's like, he's a racist, and he calls the security guard the N-word just out of nowhere, and you're just like, he doesn't have to be.
Like at the beginning.
Yeah, and you're like, for real?
Wow.
Like, okay, yeah, we don't like him, obviously.
Sure,
so when he dies, you're like, is it really that satisfying?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're at like watching it in the theater and the way you're like, of course, yeah. So anyway, watch Final Destination, listen to the Andre 3000 album.
you guys have to watch the Scream series now.
Yes,
please.
yes. Didn't I tell you that Andy is like a really big fan of? They love the Scream series. Love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're the only one who hasn't seen them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, it's
Got
me.
it.
It's me. I'm the problem.
It's me. I'm the problem.
I'm
it's
the
me.
problem. It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let me know when you start that because
Okay.
I'd like to be there if possible. Because it's up there with my favorite horror franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up there with like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow.
Like, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll do. We'll do. Okay. Last thing last. First things first. We can't leave this episode without doing what you know that we do best, and that is review these brewskis. So tonight's brew is from the Biscayne Bay Brewing, the Regatta.
Double IPA.
Double IPA. Obi, what'd you think, bro?
I was pleasantly surprised for a beer because for backstory, everyone, I found this beer at a Central Florida Target.
A Target.
A Target, if you will, because I'm fancy like that. And I wasn't expecting much. Like honestly, I was looking. Yeah, Pinky's out. I was looking through their beer selection, kind of just for funsies. 'Cause I'm like, there's no way that they have something that like I haven't seen before, right?
Right. Nothing worth our while.
Sure, but we were Sherry and I were there. We was shopping.
We were shopping.
Women be shopping.
Women be shopping.
And
Women be shopping.
And I just happened to come upon a Biscayne Bay Brewing
You
beer.
came on it?
I came upon it. That has to add into the score.
Yeah.
And I picked it up because I saw it was like, a Florida beer out of Miami. And it's a heavy duty guy, which you don't see very often at like a Target.
Yeah. Right.
or even like a Publix.
Right.
So, all that being said, I am pleasantly surprised by the quality of this beer. And, I don't know if they're like big time like that or not.
Big time.
But even if they are, I'm happy with what they're doing. I'd happily have another Biscayne Bay Brewing beer. It is, everything you'd want in a double IPA. It's a little boozy. It's a little malty. It's a little stinky. You get a little of the hops in there. But not too much that it overwhelms your palate and it kind of makes you cringe when you sip on it. So yeah, all that considered, I'm giving it a 5.
Man, I hate to do this. I really do, because I wish that I could say something more compelling or add to the conversation.
Yeah.
You literally took all the words out of my mouth. You did. I just.
That's why we're friends.
I'm sorry, guys. People who think that we like agree too much.
Yeah.
But like you actually almost verbatim took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah,
It's
I felt
something that like it really surprises you with the quality of it. You're not expecting it to be what it is because of what it is.
Right.
Or I guess our bias from where it is.
Sure.
But it's pleasantly a really good double IPA.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good. I'm also gonna give it a 5.
Great.
It's fantastic.
Love it.
Yeah, good choice.
Thank you.
So a 5 unanimous for their Regatta from Biscayne Bay Brewing.
And it does say, actually, I've noticed it's an independent craft beer.
Oh,
So
we love independent.
we do.
You think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, if Obi says we got it, then that's it for today's episode. This has been the One Beer In Podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you. Oh, yeah.
Love